Tonight, new help in a race to save lives.
It's clear that we need to have more vaccine.
As an Ebola crisis deepens, a Canadian-made vaccine gets a boost in production. But will it get to those who need it most?
Everything we think you'd need for 72 hours of survival.
We'll look at just how prepared British Columbians are after an earthquake and 3 aftershocks off the coast. And Raptors fans wait for a decision from Kawhi Leonard, just like he waited for his epic shot to drop. Our expert panel games out whether he'll stick around to thrill them again. This is The National. The second largest Ebola outbreak in history is spreading in Congo, and it's a double tragedy since it's happening in an active war zone. That makes containment and treatment a huge challenge. But tonight, CBC News has learned that help is coming soon. A much-needed vaccine, co-created in Canada, is getting a boost in production. Katie Nicholson explains.
In this vial, a precious commodity, the Ebola vaccine, partially developed in Canada. And for those in the outbreak zone, every last drop counts. This region of Congo has buried more than 1,600 people since last year. Containing the outbreak has used up much of the world's 300,000-dose stockpile of the vaccine.
After 10 months in this outbreak, 300,000 doses is not enough anymore.
Gary Kobinger helped develop this vaccine and has been watching from afar. It's 97.5% effective against the deadly virus, but he fears there just isn't enough to quell the outbreak.
You will need to reach at least 1 million, if not 2 million, because if you start offering this vaccine to the population, you need to make sure that you have enough to cover 100% of people if 100% of the people ask for it.
But right now, 100% of the people aren't getting the shot. That's because it's being delivered primarily through a method known as ring vaccination. Ring vaccination works like this. Everyone in direct contact with the infected patient is immunized. Family, friends, caregivers, or others who've been in close proximity to the person. Then everyone who has had direct contact with those people is immunized.
And so with every new case, you have another ring, you have more people to vaccinate. And so it's clear that we need to have more vaccine. And those 300,000 doses are being used very quickly.
Trish Newport is with Doctors Without Borders. She's seen the impact the vaccine has had firsthand.
It's such a great, huge tool, and I can't imagine the outbreak if we didn't have it. So it's scary to think about what happens if we run out of it.
And that's possible. Roughly half has been used in the last year. Problematic because every batch of the vaccine takes a year to make. Late this afternoon, Merck, the pharmaceutical company that makes the vaccine, confirmed to CBC News it is nearly tripling its Ebola vaccine stockpile, 850,000 doses within 18 months. Not the 1 to 2 million doses Kobinger would like to see, but for those on the ground, welcome ammunition just the same.
Wow. So, Katie, supply, clearly one of the big issues with this vaccine, but there's also the issue of mistrust.
Yeah, so this is a region that's seen violence, massacres. It already has a deep-seated mistrust of its own government, let alone foreigners coming in hazmat suits. And that means that people are also reluctant to report if they have come into contact with the virus. So case in point, a woman who traveled 460 kilometers from her home village before becoming ill near the Ugandan border. She died, but before she admitted that her children all had just died from Ebola. So the scary premise here is, how can health workers possibly trace all the people that she came into contact with during that journey?
Wow, yeah, that's a huge challenge. Okay, thanks, Katie.
You're welcome.
Well, 3 earthquakes rattled the BC coast today, all of them significant and all of them classified by seismologists as aftershocks to a quake that hit earlier this week on Wednesday. So that quake here was a magnitude 6.2, felt hundreds of kilometers away. And here, early this morning, there was a 4.7, a 5.6, and a 4.6, all within the space of about 10 minutes. And all that comes less than a day after another quake, an unrelated one, rocking Southern California. It's a reminder that on the West Coast, bad news can always be right around the corner. So the CBC's Tanya Fletcher explores just how prepared we are.
freeze-dried food, it's pre-built survival kits, it's water filtration or storage. This, for example, is our...
Xenia Platten sells earthquake kits at the Total Prepare store in Victoria. She says sales tend to go up every time there's a significant earthquake.
Yeah, we've been seeing a bit more foot traffic and a few more phone-ins with questions and things. Online traffic's ticked up a little bit, yeah.
The earthquakes are happening. It stems from the series of morning aftershocks off BC's central coast, enough to jolt some out of bed.
The closest community is about 200 kilometers from the earthquake, so we wouldn't expect them to feel them strongly, but certainly to give them a little bit of a nudge.
The good news, no tsunami, no damage, and no injuries.
Is this an earthquake?
But further down the west coast, a more dramatic scene just hours before. Aftershocks are still shaking Southern California following the biggest earthquake there in 20 years. Despite the timing, though, seismologists say there's no connection to the quakes in Canada.
These are very active faults all along the western coast of the Americas, and they have earthquakes almost daily. So the fact that there were two somewhat larger earthquakes within the same week is purely coincidence.
Still, coincidence is enough to prompt an urgent reminder.
We live in a seismic zone. People should have an emergency preparedness plan for their own house.
I'm not at all prepared. I have nothing. I think we have a pantry downstairs that has loaded with food and candles.
My wife and I have a plan on where we'll meet up, but that's about the extent of it.
The BC government says the province itself is constantly reassessing its own preparedness.
There's additional monitoring that has been taking place off the west coast through sensors that are going to be going on the surface of the ocean. We've also been engaged in a significant upgrading, over $1.5 billion being put into seismically upgrading schools, for example.
All critical steps given the repeated warning that it's not a matter of if, but when we'll have to deal with a major earthquake disaster. Tanya Fletcher, CBC News, Vancouver.
Now, as you heard, seismologists don't believe there's a relationship between the quake in BC and the one 1,700 kilometers away in California. They're different regions, different faults, and the outcome, too, very different.
I've been in a lot of earthquakes here in Southern Cal, the big ones in LA, and this was like the worst.
The desert town of Ridgecrest took the brunt of yesterday's 6.4. The destruction and disarray everywhere.
It's pretty upsetting to see the library this way.
It wouldn't stop. It just kept rolling in waves.
Some businesses will be out thousands of dollars.
Our inventory got absolutely destroyed by it. It was a freight train hitting our office.
Dozens of residents are now living in shelters, homes now unsafe.
Any idea of the scope of the damage?
Ours is total. We never dreamed it would happen, but it did.
But despite the damage, Ridgecrest and the rest of Southern California were lucky. There were no reports of serious injuries. Okay, let's move now to a story that's got a bit of rock and roll, a touch of sports, and a healthy dose of politics. An Ontario cabinet minister says she's apologized over what she calls giving feedback to the owner of the Ottawa Senators. Now, apparently some words were said, harsh ones, and now, as Mike Crawley tells us, there are calls for Minister Lisa MacLeod to resign.
It happened at last weekend's Rolling Stones concert in a field north of Barrie, Ontario. Before the Stones took the stage, the crowd got an official welcome from Ontario's Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport, Lisa MacLeod. On the sidelines of the show, MacLeod confronted Eugene Melnyk, owner of the NHL's Ottawa Senators. According to two Ottawa newspapers, Melnyk says the cabinet minister hurled abuse at him, used the F word twice, called him a loser and a piece of shit.
The Premier should ask her not only to resign, but I think she probably needs some time away from caucus.
This is Mr. Ford's government. He is the Premier of this province. He needs to make a call on this, and I would say he needs to set the bar a whole lot higher than this.
MacLeod is not denying the incident happened. This morning on Twitter, the cabinet minister said she gave Melnyk some feedback and says she apologized for being so blunt. MacLeod is a big hockey fan and represents an Ottawa riding. That makes her alleged tirade against the Senators' owner a hot topic in the city.
The language is a bit excessive. And maybe shouldn't be coming from a minister.
Good for her for saying something. No offense, but I'm not on Team Melnyk, that's for sure.
In a statement, the Ottawa Senators say Melnyk stands by his version of what happened. They say Melnyk spoke with Premier Doug Ford and was impressed with how Ford handled the situation. MacLeod has been one of Ford's most controversial ministers through his first year in power. She faced criticism for her handling of the autism program as Minister of Children, Community and Social Services. Ford demoted her to Tourism, Culture and Sport Minister last month.
The brouhaha over MacLeod's alleged outburst is just the latest controversy in what have been a rough few months for the Doug Ford government. Today, the Premier's office said it had nothing to add to MacLeod's Twitter apology. Mike Crowley, CBC News, Toronto.
Alberta Premier Jason Kenney says there's foreign meddling in the province's energy sector and it's time to fight it. Rafi Boudjikanian looks at his first step, a public inquiry that'll cost $2.5 million.
Stampede season in Calgary, for Albertans the greatest show on earth. But the theater of politics is never far away.
Instead of trying to channel people's anger about the fact that they need jobs towards a pretend enemy, what they should do is just focus on creating those jobs.
The government says the oil sector, producer of many of those jobs, has real enemies. The public inquiry will look at the foreign influences it thinks fund those opponents.
It will investigate all of the national and international connections, follow the money trail, and expose all of the interests involved.
Kenney says cash from abroad targets pipeline projects and pro-oil politicians.
We want to understand what exactly lies behind this campaign to defame and landlock Canadian energy.
A commissioner appointed by the government will have a year to do some digging, including to potentially compel witness testimony. But if that happens, there could be pushback, warns this legal group that protects environmentalists.
If we determined that this show trial would somehow harm the environmental movement, sure, we'd represent them.
Meanwhile, at least one group named by the government says it's got nothing to hide.
We're happy to participate in a public inquiry, and our track record of working with industry to advance environmental improvements in the oil sands, I think, speaks for itself.
The province expects a report out of the public inquiry by July of next year. It's also funding a $30 million energy war room, it says, to fight misinformation about the energy industry. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Edmonton.
And some of the other stories we're following tonight. As you just saw in Rafi's story, the Calgary Stampede did open today, and the party was alive and well, despite the rain.
Calgary Stampede, Yahoo! On three! Here we go! 1, 2, 3, Yahoo!
The sky's clear just in time for the annual parade that kicks off the 10-day festival, but it's probably not the end of the wet weather. Severe thunderstorms and showers are in the forecast for the weekend.
Stepped outside and basically started sweating immediately.
Yeah, you and everybody else across Eastern Canada. Lots of places experienced their hottest days so far this year. It felt like close to 40 degrees with the humidity, and there won't be much relief tonight either. Heat warnings are still in place in parts of Quebec, Ontario, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. Okay, turning now our attention to a couple more stories overseas. First up, Sudan. Recent protests there we've seen. Bloodshed too, but today a whole other sight. Dancing in the streets, tears of joy. It was a spontaneous reaction to news that military leaders and pro-democracy protesters have struck a deal, agreeing to share power, putting an end to months of anger and unrest. It sparked up back in December with street protests calling for democracy after 30 years of rule by President Omar al-Bashir. He's accused of genocide and of leading a government full of corruption. In April, the military forced him out, seized control. But pro-democracy protesters continued their fight. And in early June, things took a really violent turn. Security forces razed a protest camp, allegedly killing more than 100 demonstrators. Talks collapsed. But then there was a mass protest and talks restarted. So, as Chris O'Neill-Yates shows us, when news came today of an agreement, the celebration was instantaneous.
News of the agreement sparked scenes like this. Outpourings of joy on the streets of Khartoum. Today is the start of Sudan's history, says this man. Thank God the victory has finally come. The feeling is indescribable, this woman says. For 2 days, representatives from the Transitional Military Council met with a delegation from the Civilian Forces of Freedom and Change, along with mediators from Ethiopia and the African Union. The Union envoy to Sudan, Mohammed Hassan Labat, says the agreement establishes a transitional government ruled first by the military for the first 21 months, then by a civilian administration for another year and a half. This is meant to pave the way for free elections.
This is a milestone.
Samahir al-Mubarak speaks for a group which has been pushing for a civilian government after 3 decades of autocratic rule.
A lot of people are very skeptical, but this is the time where in these 18 months we grow and we work very hard to make sure that everyone keeps their end of the deal.
The two sides also agreed to an independent investigation into the deaths of about 100 protesters fired on by the army.
It is a mixed reactions.
Yasir Saeed Arman believes the agreement doesn't hold the military properly accountable.
Again, now they committed a big atrocity. Again, is the peaceful protesters. They killed more than 100 in a cold blood. And now they set free because there is no mechanism to account them. The mechanism which is set now is a very weak mechanism.
All this celebration could be premature. Just remember the Arab Spring in 2011, when initial victories were rolled back or crushed. If this deal does fall apart, protesters vow they'll be back on the streets. Chris O'Neill Yates, CBC News, London.
Now to Venezuela, where the country is marking Independence Day. But for many, there is little to celebrate. A new UN report says President Nicolas Maduro's government is using torture and murder to silence its critics, as Arthur Pohl explains.
A grand military parade and a speech from President Nicolas Maduro to rally support in the midst of a deepening political and economic crisis. Elsewhere, protests led by opposition leader Juan Guaido, fueled by long-standing grievances against Maduro and by a new UN report detailing police and military brutality against political opponents. Today, the UN human rights chief delivered a blistering critique on Maduro's regime. Nearly 7,000 Venezuelans have been killed during security operations in the past 18 months. Many constituted executions.
My office has also documented excessive use of force in the context of security operations by the Special Action Forces, with multiple killings mainly of young men. Many could constitute extrajudicial killings and should be fully investigated.
She says security forces routinely sent death squads to murder young men. Thousands more detained for political reasons have been tortured and sexually abused.
It makes it absolutely clear that there is a full-blown human rights crisis that has been unfolding in Venezuela.
Amnesty International Canada says the UN report is a start, but further steps need to be taken.
We, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, many other organizations in Venezuela have called for is that states need to convene at the UN a commission of inquiry that will have real powers to carry out probing investigations to truly get at the heart of this human rights crisis and, importantly, identify who needs to be held accountable.
Venezuela's deputy foreign minister calls the report biased and distorted. Meanwhile, today in the U.S., the Secretary of State reaffirmed support for the opposition leader and for Venezuelans yearning for a return to democracy. Arthur Pohl, CBC News, Washington.
And ahead on The National, will he stay or will he go? We're going to game out the possibilities for Kawhi Leonard and try to dissect what's actually happening behind the scenes. Plus,
Hi! Surprised to see me so soon? Yeah!
we'll look at the harsh reality of reality TV and the toll it can take on the very people taking part. That's next.
New twist in the game is about to send everyone into uncharted territory.
Real people in unreal circumstances. Audiences just can't look away from reality TV.
I trust you. Why?
Can you believe it's been 2 decades since Survivor debuted? Rich. And so clearly, the genre has some serious staying power. Today, you can find shows on just about everything.
Splendid theatrical extravaganza.
But the contestants who sign up to be on these shows, to have their every move documented and judged, they say it can take a real toll, even after the cameras are long gone. Tashana Reed explains.
Hi! Surprised to see me so soon? Yeah.
Young, attractive singles in a Mediterranean villa looking for love, all while being filmed 24/7.
The public have decided that the islander they want to save is.
There's public voting, a cash prize, and fresh episodes 6 nights a week for 5 weeks. Love Island has captivated millions of viewers in the UK.
Are you ready, America?
And now the hit British reality show's American version will debut this month.
It's a little trashier than you might see on a regular reality show, and it's proud of that trashiness. And it's meant to be kind of like the ultimate guilty pleasure.
But these made-for-TV social experiments are also facing increased scrutiny.
As far as reality television is concerned, we're moving inexorably towards a sort of a version of the Hunger Games.
The UK government launched an inquiry into reality TV to deal with concerns following the recent suicides of contestants, including 2 on ITV's Love Island. Honey Lancaster James has worked as a resident psychologist on reality TV sets, including Love Island.
I think we're at a time when we really do need to review the kind of psychological welfare services that are put in place on a production.
I'm sorry, Joe. Congratulations, Lucy.
Love Island producers say they will increase psychological supports for contestants after they leave the show, something Lancaster James says is needed.
People seem to think that just because you live in the public eye or you're on TV or you're in the movies, that somehow you've got this amazing life and you should be able to weather any criticism that comes your way because you've chosen a public life.
Toronto firefighter Kevin Went knows the risks of starring in reality TV all too well.
It's definitely something you're not prepared for.
Went appeared on Canada's Bachelorette and caught the attention of American producers who cast him in the hugely popular Bachelor franchise spin-offs.
Kevin is in the final stage of shooting.
But his newfound fame did pose challenges.
When you just read a few comments online that you're this and that, it can really ruin your day and it can really put you into a depression. And I found myself to be pretty depressed. I did seek help. I went to therapy twice a week for half a year or so after the first show I was on. And then you just slowly kind of rebuild yourself back.
Went says something positive did come out of his reality TV experience. Not only did he meet his future wife, he learned to put his mental health first. Tashana Reed, CBC News, Toronto.
Okay, coming up, Kawhi Watch. It's basically reality television, right? Where will he be playing next season? We're going to look at what's driving the frenzy, and we'll cut through a bit of the fog. Next. So Kawhi Watch 2019 continues. We are no closer today than we were yesterday or the day before to knowing whether Kawhi Leonard will re-sign with the Raptors for next season or lay down roots somewhere else, the LA Lakers being the other big contender. But either way, it's been a wild ride that has turned this city upside down. Just a couple days ago, there was the buzz that a private jet owned by the company that runs the Raptors was flying from LA and touching down here in Toronto. And maybe, just maybe, Kawhi was on board. Then there was a local news chopper tracking the convoy's every move straight to a hotel where maybe Kawhi was firming up a deal. But then today, that private jet leaving Toronto, landing in San Diego. Had any hope of a deal fallen apart? Was Kawhi heading back to California for good? Or was that plane picking up Kawhi's family and friends to come back to Toronto because Kawhi has decided to stay? Of course, all of it just baseless speculation, at best wishful thinking. But hey, that's what this frenzy around the King of the North has become. So hey, we've assembled a great panel to try to game out some of this. I'm joined by Sportsnet host and writer Donovan Bennett. Harrison Sanford here with us, the co-host of the podcast Inside the Green Room with Danny Green, who's also in free agency right now.
Yes, he is.
And so he's also waiting with bated breath to figure out what Kawhi Leonard's going to do. Yeah. And we've got Parminder Singh joining us as well, the Punjabi voice of the NBA. You do play-by-play for those games. So Donovan, maybe I'll start with you. Just you look at the hype meter. Where are you sitting right now on 1 to 10? 1 is you're just sick of this, you just want it to be over. 10 is you're exploding and you can't wait.
I mean, the hype meter is broken. If there was a Richter scale for hype, this exceeds it. I feel a little bit differently. One, I feel a little embarrassed, right? That some of the news reports that we've seen outside of hotels talking about how many exits there are and whether or not he may have snuck out and what the flight plan could or could not have been. Journalistically, I feel a little bit embarrassed, but I also feel on edge because covering him, this team, this league, my life, our lives will change dramatically as soon as he signs and depending on where he signs. So if you think Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster, president and GM respectively of the Raptors, really want this answer, president and GM of my household, my wife really wants this answer, because literally we're all waiting and on standby to see what Kawhi decides.
Are we surprised that it's taken this long to come to a decision?
No, if I was Kawhi Leonard, I would take this long as well. I mean, look how long it takes me to pick a Netflix movie. Sometimes it takes a while. So I'm not surprised. I mean, they won the finals. If they would have lost in the second round, the Eastern Conference Finals, but they won the NBA Finals, they had the parade. He's a calculated man by everybody's own admission. And then if you even look back to his college career, they said that when he committed to San Diego State, he just showed up in the gym. The team couldn't get in contact with him for 2 weeks. Right. So he just showed up there. So I am not surprised. Am I happy about it? No. But not surprised.
Can I push back on the term long, though?
Go for it.
Because realistically, when we look at the big decisions, Kevin Durant came on July 4th. LeBron James made decisions on July 10th, July 14th. Just because $3 billion were spent in the NBA in the first 90 minutes, we think that it's long. But this is true to the course for someone who's making a lifetime decision.
Okay, well, maybe you don't think it's long in the grand scheme of things. Let's run this clip here that we've got. This is from Kilimanjaro.
All right, some blood, sweat, and tears went into this one, but finally made it to the top of Kilimanjaro. Yeah. Just after Canada Day, I know Kawhi, he just won us a championship, made us a proud Canadian. If you're going to stay, that'd be awesome.
Boardman gets paid.
Boardman gets paid.
What is it about Kawhi Leonard? I mean, this guy in particular that has driven people insane. I mean, because it's more than just the fact that he led the team to a championship.
Now, this is unprecedented. I mean, for Canada on itself, the only team in Toronto, and to have the whole nation behind Toronto, and then the lead man or the board man, Kawhi Leonard here, and I think fans. I think this truly speaks to the essence of how much the game of basketball has kind of developed in Canada. Yeah. And I come from a hockey background. I used to say Toronto's a hockey town. I don't think I can say that anymore. Without questioning how explosive basketball is here, and the fact that everyone is so focused on this, it's huge and very calculated. I think this is very exciting times.
And getting any information has been like trying to squeeze blood from a stone, right? I mean, and Kawhi is a pretty private guy as well, so maybe it's understandable that there haven't been any leaks. But I mean, explain for me, Harrison, from what you know, I mean, and you've got connections with Danny Green, of course. So what are the kinds of conversations that are happening behind closed doors? When you look at the meetings between Kawhi and the Lakers, Kawhi and the Clippers, Kawhi and the Raptors.
Well, if you're Kawhi Leonard, you need to figure out how this team was going to look, not just for the next season, but for the entirety of his prime. He's entering his prime. He just turned 28, I believe. And if he signs a 5-year deal, we're talking about to 32 years old. Those are the best years of his basketball career, or supposed to be at least. So while you have a player like Pascal Siakam, who's merging, is going to be a great player for them, Kyle Lowry is going to come off the books next year. Marc Gasol is going to come off the books next year. Serge Ibaka is going to come off the books next year. These are major players who could potentially not be back with the team.
Right.
But Masai and Bobby Webster, it's upon them to say, hey, Kawhi, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to do it. And at the same time, too, and this is one of the more interesting things when it comes to Kawhi Leonard, we've seen his character start to show throughout the course of the season. So now he's trying to build for the future, but at the same time, that might mean turning away players that helped him bring out his personality.
Right.
You saw how he bonded with Kyle Lowry. But if you're trying to build for the future, Kyle Lowry's probably not the point guard for the future. How do you say goodbye to somebody who helped you embrace yourself and embrace your personality in front of an entire country? It's a very difficult thing to navigate because you don't want to upset him, but yet you have to encourage him about what you can do in the future.
And so if you're trying to divine the outcome out of all this, I mean, how much are you reading between the lines? You look at the fact that, he met with the Raptors last, reportedly, among all three meetings. I mean, what do you see there?
Well, I think that's just usually what happens when any time a major free agent meets with a team. The incumbent team is always going to have the last word.
Right. And does that give the Raptors an advantage in this particular?
I would think it gives them the advantage because Masai Ujiri is one of the better front office people in the entire league. So I would imagine that helps out. Yeah. And I would imagine him coming back from California to Toronto would be a good thing as well.
If he was indeed on that plane. Yeah. A lot of question marks around that.
A lot of question marks around that. No, but I could tell you that he was. He has been in town. So he did make that flight here. Now, did he leave today? I don't know. Nobody really knows. But I do think it's a big sign for them that he did come back in town, because if his mind was truly made up about the Lakers, hey, you guys can come check me out in LA, but I don't need to. Caravan is still far ways away,
no kidding.
So he doesn't need to be here just yet.
And Donovan, are you? I mean, what are you reading in the tea leaves? I mean, when you look at all the little pieces, whether it's the jet, the to and fro from to the Hazelton, the hotel, and back again, and who knows?
Well, I talked to Masai Ujiri about this decision for Kawhi earlier in the year, and the bet was not, am I going to get to speak to him last or first? Really, we got to speak to him for an entire year. We got to recruit him for an entire year, and he knows us, we know him. And we look at the psychology of a player, someone who lost his father at a young age, who his circle is really tight, that's just family. The biggest thing that he wants is trust. So that the Raptors have been able to earn his trust on the court, but with his physical health, I think, to me, puts them in the catbird seat.
Everyone and their dog has a prediction as to how this is all going to end. And let's just give you a cross-section of what that looks like.
The insight into Kawhi Leonard is very difficult to actually get.
What I'm 99% hearing is that Kawhi Leonard will be returning to Toronto.
For me, with Kawhi Leonard, the Lakers become very, very hard to beat. And do I go back to San Antonio? Didn't he request to be traded from there? Mm-hmm. And where did he request to be traded to?
The Lakers. But if he went to the Lakers, it would just be against everything that I know about this guy.
Okay, so it's go time. Boys, I want predictions. Parminder.
No, listen, if we talk about this man, Kawhi Leonard, international man of mystery here, but very calculated, very high IQ, basketball IQ, you name it. And you're right, it talks about the methodical executives of the Raptors and how consistent the Raptors organization has been. There's a lot of questions around Lakers, Magic Johnson, whatever's been happening there. Is he walking into turmoil, or is he going to stay with something that's consistent? And he may stay.
So you think Raptors?
I think he stays as well. I think it's a very difficult decision for him. I think playing at home in California is something that he wants to do. But I think as time is going on here, I think he's learning that staying with the Raptors is probably the best thing for him. The medical staff, the trust that you have, and things of that nature, it's overwhelming evidence that he should probably stay, especially also, too, LeBron James is a great player, but LeBron James should be past his prime right now. Now, I know he's playing at an incredible level almost all the time, but if you evaluate your future, and LeBron James is a heavy part in it, and he's at his age he is now, it's a very difficult decision to make, and I would lean towards the Raptors, but then again, it is the board, man. So.
Donovan, you talked about trust. Do you think trust wins out? Yeah.
Listen, I know literally nothing, right? So who cares what I think? But let's look at what he has said. In his opening press conference, he said he wants to be healthy and he wants to win a championship. Check, check for Toronto. And we also know he wants his privacy, so Toronto, just chillax, right? Let's not ruin it for him.
Yeah, although you look back at the last few weeks, I mean, Toronto's not exactly the mellowest city.
Yeah, the chopper, like, can we calm down just a little bit? But I will say that winning the championship in this city, regardless, he's a made man in this country, but when we talk about we the North, the fact that Damon Stoudemire, Marcus Camby, and Chris Bosh, and Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady, Americans all left, and it's why we have an inferiority complex and why we the North really started. If Kawhi stays, I think it changes that entire perception, even more so than the championship.
Does the whole team change if Kawhi comes back, or does it stay more or less the same for the next season?
For the next season, it probably does stay the same. Yeah. I mean, the one person who could change is Danny Green. Obviously, he could stay, but then at that point, if Kawhi does stay, then Danny Green's going to have to look at his options, because at that point, all three teams that have been mentioned, that we mentioned in the podcast, the Mavericks, Raptors, and Lakers, are all on the table. Right. And at that point, he really has to decide what's the best for not just this year, but for his future.
Right, so there's no certainty that Danny Green stays with the Raptors if Kawhi decides to stay with the Raptors.
That is true. I mean, he would love to. I know he would.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's 32 years old, just turned 32. He has to think about what his career is going to be like when he's age 35, 36. Is there a team that, I doubt it, there's a 4-year deal out for him, but maybe when he has so much leverage with 3 teams trying to get after him, maybe he's able to get a 4-year deal out of this Kawhi domino situation. Right. So who knows?
And the best chances he has, I guess, with Danny Green would be returning to Toronto in terms of championship if Kawhi does sign. And the other thing, I guess, just to go back to your point about the notoriety of Toronto and Canada, what Kawhi has done, I think, is, you had 48 states cheering for Toronto Raptors, but you would see a lot more players wanting to come here rather than what you've seen in the past, where players have left Toronto and they've badmouthed, the country or Toronto itself. But here, I think he's really created an environment where you are more welcoming of new talent. So it would be very interesting to watch.
And the final word from each of you: if Kawhi does stay, the Raptors favorites in the East, favorites to win it all? I mean, what are we saying here?
Nick Nurse had 20 different starting lineups last year. The group that ended up winning the championship only replayed 27 games. I think this team we saw in the playoffs, they got better over time. So, yeah, I actually like them more so next year than I do this year.
I agree with that. And Pascal Siakam's a player that got a lot better throughout the course of the year. Somebody who didn't get to play in the playoffs, OG Anunoby, should be able to come back next year. I think they would have to easily be the favorites, especially with the Bucks not being as good.
Well, delay the Lakers enough so they can't sign anyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Toronto Raptors, maybe. Toronto Raptors, guys. There we go.
Well, now we wait, I suppose. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When you held my hand that night and said, "Don't you worry."
Okay, and up next on The National, using music to turn a violent assault into a lesson on consent. But first, I want to return to a peculiar moment from Donald Trump's 4th of July speech from yesterday. It wasn't nearly as partisan as some critics had feared, but it did still cause a stir.
In June of 1775.
That's because he seemed to veer slightly off script.
Our army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
There were, of course, no airports during the Revolutionary War. The plane wouldn't even be invented for another 100+ years. And so came #gags like the Battle of Dulles International, the Battle of LaGuardia, and yes, the infamous Battle of Covfefe Hill. Trump today explained what happened.
I knew the speech very well, so I was able to do it without a teleprompter, but the teleprompter did go out.
Trump does have a bit of a history with the prompter.
I don't have teleprompters, right? Right?
Off-prompter Trump electrifies crowds at rallies, and he's even mocked rivals who use them.
Because you don't even know the guy's smart. He's reading. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This is wonderful. Speed that teleprompter up. Ba, ba, ba.
But when he needs to stay on message, Trump loves prompter.
I'll be honest with you. I love the look of this.
At his nomination, he was caught on camera gushing about the font. As he once said,
I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words.
But sometimes they're his words, sometimes speechwriters, and sometimes
it ran the ramparts. It took over the airports.
They're a strange mix of both.
And at Fort
A Canadian musician's personal horror story has turned into a teachable moment for students in her home province. Kinley Dowling, formerly of the indie group Hey Rosetta, wrote a song about being raped on her prom night in a field in PEI. And now, as Kayla Hounsel shows us, students are learning from it.
When you held my hand that night and said, "Don't you worry."
It started as a way to deal with a violent sexual assault from her past and turned into a song that is now used as a teaching tool in classrooms on Prince Edward Island.
I did not see it coming, though, how much attention it would get.
After spending 10 years playing in the background of Newfoundland's Hey Rosetta, this is the first time Kinley Dowling is using her voice to attract attention through a song she wrote about being raped the night of her high school prom.
You are smeared on my mind, but I've got a microphone.
I always say it was the fastest song I've ever written, but really it took 15 years thinking about what I wanted to say.
In Kinley's home province of PEI, the Department of Education has developed a teaching tool called the Microphone Project. It includes 4 modules to help teachers discuss consent, gender stereotypes, sexual assault, and the role of bystanders. It's available to every grade 9 health teacher on the island.
What if this is you and you need to know, how do I say no? Or you need to know, well, how do I ask somebody if they're okay with this? How do I ask for consent?
Make sure you're clear on what you're asking. And make sure you ask consent for multiple things. Doing one thing may be different from something else. Yeah.
Teacher Kendra McClellan says a music video makes it easier to start a difficult conversation.
This is their medium, video, songs. These students are listening to music like all day, every day. And to be able to connect with them in a way that's so important to them has really, really made a difference.
They study the lyrics and the symbolism. They acknowledge they hadn't even thought about consent and what it means until now.
It never really came to mind until we did this unit. It was just like, I don't know, now that we learned about it, I actually know like what it means and how to deal with it.
And they admit it's pretty uncomfortable at first.
Even talking about it about other people is just uncomfortable because it's just like crossing like the line kind of with their privacy, but it's something that needs to be talked about. So,
would you rather be awkward, or would you rather be a victim or a person who commits a sexual assault? Right? Awkward. Yeah. You know, of all the things we teach in school, this is a big one, right? This is a life skill to take and use, you know, with any students and in all schools and your own children, and just a place where we need to get everybody to be on the same page with this idea of how important consent is.
And the smell of your cheap cologne started to churn my stomach.
At home in Charlottetown, Kinley says if she had had access to a program like this as a student, it would have changed the course of her life.
A pirate in the night, you took something that was mine.
This story is mine, and I wrote it for myself, but it's kind of like been a lot of other people have unfortunately like connected to the message of it.
A message she intends to keep spreading as long as is necessary. Kayla Hounsel, CBC News, Summerside, Prince Edward Island.
Okay, the moment is up next, but first. In case you missed it, France is currently gripped by a legal drama involving tourists, locals, and a neighborhood loudmouth who also happens to be an emblem of the Republic. Maurice the Gallic rooster, to be precise. See, every summer, this picturesque island near Bordeaux is overrun by well-heeled vacationers escaping the city. From afar, maybe it seems sort of quaint, but when a retired holiday couple sued Maurice and his owner for noise pollution, boy, did that blow things up. Lawyers got involved, and this week, the whole thing actually ended up in court. Maurice's owner argued that the countryside is the countryside. And besides, the Gallic rooster is actually the national symbol of France, so surely they should be free to make all the racket they want. And you know what? That argument resonates. Supporters are even bringing their own roosters to the courthouse. And more than 120,000 people have signed a petition defending Maurice and his owner. So, will peace prevail or will there be a revolution? Well, we'll have to wait until September 5th for the verdict.
I'm Trina Winter.
And I'm Thomas LeBlanc.
Check out our podcast. It's called Chosen Family. It's all about great conversations with amazing artists and creators, usually queer, but not always. You'll love it.
Listen to Chosen Family wherever you get your podcasts.
Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Maybe you've never heard of it, but a local ad agency has set out to change that, creating a rap music video featuring all the great things that tiny town has to offer. And you know what? Seems to have worked. The US magazine Adweek made the video its ad of the day, a space normally featuring brands like Apple or Nike. So Mount Pearl is gaining international exposure, and that video and the story behind it is our moment.
One of the ideas really was, let's try to put Mount Pearl on the map. They're Newfoundland's smallest city in terms of population.
Everyone's so nice here. Parking's free everywhere.
And so we wanted to do something that really stood out and broke the mold and really felt authentic to Mount Pearl.
Welcome to Mount Pearl. We have a Facebook. Welcome to Mount Pearl.
For Adweek to have selected the city of Mount Pearl in Newfoundland, the east coast of Canada, and put it not only as a story, but as their ad of the day was massive.
Yeah, and if you want to know how massive that is, I mean, Adweek is a magazine that gets something like, millions of views. So for a town of 23,000, that's a pretty big deal. Although whether going viral translates into actual visitors, I suppose that's a whole other question. That's The National for this July 5th. Have a good night.